Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, and as always, I've got Richard and Sean with me.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
So I'm going to start this week with a little bit of a downtone, simply to say that we've announced before that we record these episodes ahead of time, and last week we had to take a bit of time off because the Sunday morning prior to it, we got the call that my father-in-law had been found dead. He died of a heart attack. Dropped dead. Luckily, there was no suffering, but Kenneth was a guy that, you know, I wouldn't say that I was the closest to in the world, because I spoke at his memorial service and I said this, that we were like a battery. We were working together, but he was the positive and I was the negative. You're there working together. You have to be there, but at the same time, the polarities often push against each other. But he loved things like Planet of the Apes. We would talk, and I swear I've been married to his daughter.
Did he start listening to this?
He never did.
Okay.
I told him, I tried to explain what a podcast was, and you just saw the sheets of what?
You understand radio on demand, basically?
Yeah. So we would talk about these things, and over the 25-ish years I've been married to his daughter, if I mentioned Planet of the Apes, next Christmas I would get nothing but Planet of the Apes gifts for Christmas. So he was that kind of guy. I told the guys that we've been going through a lot of his belongings already, and you just understood that there was a lot there about the man that I never got to understand. I'm going to pass this on because I want to say this in the podcast. The last thing ever that happened, I took my daughter to an archery tournament. He was there. I'm talking to another parent, and I feel these arms suddenly wrap around me tightly, and he pulled me back, and it was him, and he said, I love you. I just wanted you to know that. That was the last time I ever saw the man. For all the times that we didn't speak directly, he found a way to speak to me. So I'm telling you guys, go home to your lovely partners tonight and tell them you love them. All our listeners out there, tell them you love them, because you don't ever know when it's all over. But my lovely friends on the other side of the table never have a problem when these kind of things come up. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being supportive.
I mean,
now,
it's not the same, but my kinder passed on Feb 7th.
That's right.
Yeah, one of my dogs. Boo. All right, so our minutes are...
Now on to Minute of the Apes. After we've had the... life has
Punch.
happened,
Yes.
and we're moving on.
All right, we're gonna start this week off by really quick saying thanks to the Star Wars Minute guys, Pete and Alex. We appreciate you inviting us to the family. We're happy to be here. We can't believe we're almost done with the first movie.
I know, and I saw that they'll tweet out for us to their following that when we're done.
We
So
completed it.
yeah, we'll definitely send them a tweet next week to say that we're done, so that people will hopefully know to come listen to that last minute.
Next Wednesday will be our last episode for this movie.
For this movie.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start minute 106 with Taylor saying the flags of discontent, and ends with Taylor saying, I've terrified you from the first. And as of minute 106, we still got our 2 living humans, our 2 confirmed dead, poor Dodge and Stewart, 1 dead ape, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
I wonder what I'm going to do when we don't have gaggle of humans
I know.
and
I don't know what
shrewdness
my
of
new
apes.
introduction is going to be.
You're going to have to do some research, my friend, because we cannot have, if you simply go, we've got a human, I'm going to quit.
We got shrewdness of apes, I guess.
But I have to tell you that the first 30 minutes of the next movie is desert shot. I'm kidding.
That's it. I'm just walking off.
I'm kidding.
I'll see you guys in a month.
So basically we start off right away. The first thing that hits me is Taylor mentioning the comment about trusting anyone.
Never trust anybody over 30.
Over 30. So is
How
30
old
the
is
magic?
I know, yeah.
Dang.
And is 30 the magic cutoff in the 60s to becoming an asshole?
Yeah, because
Well-
I thought he was just taking a piss with him. Never trust anybody over 30, a.k.a. me.
We assume this is the joke, right? The flags of discontent. Remember, never trust anyone over 30. To Lucius to kind of like, have that bonding moment, never trust anyone over 30. Like, this was supposed to be a joke, right? This was a joke. This was one of those lines.
Yes.
We assume
I
they
couldn't
threw
figure it
in to relate to the teen audience of
Because
that
wasn't it
era.
like in the 60s, it was like never trust anybody over 21 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that with the whole counterculture, but
Yeah.
that's why I felt 30 was this odd thing.
That's a very adult number to throw out there.
It just seems like a very ill-formed joke, and you're probably right. It was, again, levity that didn't work.
It went nowhere. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, awesome.
I don't know. Maybe it plays different for the 68 crowd, but
Thanks for that great advice, Dad.
Hey, youth.
it
What
was
do
a dad joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, youth. What are y'all doing today? Would you like to go to the soda shop? At the mall?
So beyond that, beyond the weirdness,
Oh, it gets weirder.
how
Oh, yeah, this
but
movie
with
gets
that,
really weird.
we get the validation I've been going for all along.
Uh-huh.
Did we see the munch down that happened between Taylor and Zira? Because it's not just a kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Holy.
Taylor wants a mac on her hard because I think it's the only chance he's going to get where it's legal for a man and a monkey to make out.
So what I found interesting about this moment is that I had to, like, the script that I'd printed out had that interaction happening before his interaction with Lucius. So just because of, and I'm wondering if that was because of the actual staging of where they were in the shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I have these lines going, remember, never trust anyone over 30, and then I have a big arrow going back up to the moment with Zira and Taylor, having their makeout moment. It was just kind of I wonder if, looking at the shot itself, it made me wonder if that just made more sense because of where they were lined up.
Can we go back in time just a little bit in the script? What, preceding where this minute began, what was the conversation? Right before, is it Lucius? I always get his name backwards.
Yeah,
he's Lucius. Julius is the moron back in the jail.
Yeah.
Yes, Lucius is the nephew.
All these Roman names.
It was the handshakes. It was let's see. Oh wait, Sam, I'm looking ahead, not behind.
While you look, the reason I'm asking that is I wonder tonally.
So it was the moment where Taylor says it's better than going to jail for heresy. Cornelius says they can't convict us of heresy. You proved our innocence. Besides, his culture is all cultural. Well, good luck then. They hold out hands. They shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of move over to the horses, and then he addresses Lucius, who is on the screen left.
Right.
And has that interaction with Lucius, and then he turns, and to his left, our right, is Zira and Cornelius and Nova in a line beside the horses.
So I wonder if, more than anything, they seem to interject this weird humor between moments of sincerity. The handshake is easily the most sincere, almost human connection they've had.
And then cut it with a little saccharin. Or
hey,
cut the saccharin with
here it is. No trust anybody over there. Put that in before we get the man-monkey munch down.
Well, I mean, also, we think about Zira is probably his rescuer. Zira is also the person that he first kind of encountered that actually had faith in him. So it might also make sense from a script standpoint or a story standpoint to have her have the last goodbye with him before moving on.
Okay.
Rather than having the kiss first and then having a conversation with Lucius. Right? I mean, that's...
Yeah. And it's just so odd that we have to sit here and figure out why they put things together the way they did like that. I wonder why they, you know what, whatever it is, the moment works, even though it's an oddity. And God knows that Roddy McDowall has his best facial tick.
The gasp that he does?
Well, at first all I could think was he was puckering his lips and blowing behind the snout because it gets almost, and it pulses. The man really must have spent hours in front of the mirror.
So after he says, remember, trust no one over 30, he turns to Zira, who's next to him, and says, well, doctor, I'd like to kiss you goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, what the creep?
And then she just kind of is very bashful and sheepish. All right, but...
Yeah, I thought she protests too much. No.
You're so damn ugly.
I know.
But we have to have this cut shot back to,
right.
Cornelius and Nova, who are both making these horrible frowny faces, like... What is going on?
Well, they're both threatened. It's like, even though Nova can't speak, she's like, bitch, get away from my man.
I know.
And Cornelius is pretty much saying the same thing.
And Zira just looks kind of like, looks over at them, looks back at him like, oh, is this going to be okay? Oh,
I swear.
I think it's happening.
So there's a website out there. I don't know if you guys have seen it with all the Twitter stuff. There's somebody that apparently has made a Planet of the Apes musical, truly.
Okay.
And as soon as I saw her acting so sheepishly, I thought that has to be a musical moment.
That's a moment of the song.
Will he kiss me? I think he's so ugly.
You know you want it. I'm damn Taylor.
Why does your version of Taylor sound like one of those death metal?
Swedish Taylor.
So she agrees. And he kind of leans in. Now, as great as the prosthetics are for these masks, we've already commented before that certain things don't work, like the mushing of the mask didn't work for the kiss. It's clearly not going to work for this. When I read this in the script, I did not think initially that it was going to be on the lips. I thought it was going to be on the cheek or something like that. Who kisses a woman on the mouth, like
in front of their partner?
In front of their partner, that's not a relative. It just,
I almost feel like you're doing with those Jeff Foxworthy setup jokes. If you do this and this and this, you must be that, because
you might be cousins. Yeah, you might be a redneck if you make out with a monkey on the set of Planet of the Apes.
Who would kiss their partner right in front of it? Taylor.
So as he leans over the kiss, he starts to kiss, and they get another shot back of Cornelius and Nova.
Uh-huh.
This time Cornelius's mouth is open like, what are you guys doing? You want to get a room? You want to get a cave? We got one.
You trying to cuck me over here?
And they all just look so miserable.
All I thought and when it came to that shot you're talking about, is I wish it would have cut back at that point. We would have had tongue just That would have been that would have been humor I might have laughed at.
Well, honestly, he's kissing a monkey on the mouth.
Oh my God, there's the name of the episode. He's kissing a monkey on the mouth.
He's kissing a monkey on the mouth. And if they could have gotten away with tongue, they probably would have. The mask was not going to allow them to use tongue.
So, I don't know that we ever get to see this, but I'm immediately thinking ahead to the Tim Burton makeup, where their makeup used the actual bottom
mouth,
lip.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if do they have kissing? Does he kiss her in that? Helena Bonham Carter? I'd kiss her.
Yeah.
Sorry, Helena Bonham Carter. I'd kiss her. But we'll have to watch for that, because how does it react? But you're right. I mean, you can see immediately. It's almost like that one where the guy's eating and he mashes his snout into his face.
He's got to really get his hand down his mouth to really eat. Yeah.
And then after Taylor pulls away from the kiss, she kind of looks aside. She looks very bashful. She looks very like, oh, that was naughty.
Maybe that wasn't so bad.
What I'm going to look down at the beach, and then I'm going to kind of look over at everybody else. Like, did everybody just see that?
Maybe that's actually the mating ritual for apes is your first kiss. It's not so much the first sexual contact, it's the kiss. And now she's giving it up to Mr. Ugly.
Well, no, we've seen Zira and Cornelius kiss, so.
Oh, that's true. They did
that triple kiss, yes.
That's where I'm going to start kissing my wife.
That's how I do my wife. I mean, kiss my wife, sorry.
That's how I kiss your wife, too.
So after the kiss is over, he kind of unceremoniously just hops on the horse.
Yeah. And then
I'm out.
And then we get to Dr. Zaius' rationale about why he hates Taylor so much.
Well, to Richard's point before we get there, I thought that was the weirdest transition of a setup so we could get to another conversation. However, and the shot's really...
Because this conversation is now happening on a horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
while the guy's tied up sitting on the beach.
I mean, they're not 2 feet beside each other. They're like 15 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
It's odd.
Right. Particularly with you got the beach going in your background, It was just an odd we have to close the scenario between Zaius and Taylor, right? That's what has to happen now.
So we're leading to the conversation that probably is the absolute ultimate conversation these two have had. We've had moments of what do you know, what is it he threatens, where are you from, all these things. This is where they're coming together, and now Zaius is going to poke him in the balls, effectively. He's just going to sit there and that. So right away, and I always ask you this, Richard, and I hope you'll indulge me. Can you read what it is that Zaius says? And it's only since we stop where Taylor says I still terrify you.
Okay, so after he kisses Zaius,
after he kisses Zira,
I
want to see the movie where he kisses Zaius.
After he kisses Zira, there's a shot of Zaius on the ground, and then we cut to a wide where we can see Zaius on the ground. We can see how far away they are, and Taylor kind of pulls Nova onto the horse from a distance. And then he approaches Zaius on the horse and gets up next to him. And then he kind of gives him a little bit of a warning. He says, "Don't try to follow us. I'm pretty handy with this," talking about his gun. Because he waves his gun briefly.
That's not what he's talking about.
I'm pretty handy with this.
He looks back at Nova and goes, "Aren't I?"
Right.
And then Zaius says, now, this is... We've talked about reading the script and the changes they've made here and there. Right. I will say that largely, Zaius' dialogue is mostly unchanged throughout the script that I've read so far. And I kind of wonder if it's just because he's good at memorizing a script and everybody else just kind of riffing on whatever they have.
Right.
So he says, Taylor says, "Don't try to follow us. I'm pretty handy with this," waves the rifle. Zaius says, "Of that I'm sure. All my life I've awaited your coming and dreaded it, like death itself."
Okay, let's stop right there.
Right.
All my life I've awaited your coming. Why? What is it?